said, how great was my speech tonight? Did you see the size of that crowd? Oh, and by the way, her crowds are zero. Her crowd, she's got no crowds. They bus the people in. They pay buses to bring people. Nobody here rode in on a bus, I guarantee you that, unless you own it. How demeaning to women, like they have wrestling. Stand up again. Will you stand up? Right there. You with the Trump. How the hell can a woman... Is there any woman in this audience that wants to take this guy on? You saw it. Well, the suburbs were safe. That's why when they say suburban women maybe don't like Trump, I think they're wrong. I think they love me. I do. I never had problems with women. I never had any problems. Finally, I will save America's suburbs by protecting single-family zoning. The radical left wants to abolish the suburbs by forcing apartment complexes and low-income housing into the suburbs right next to your beautiful house. Right next, you have a beautiful house and they want a nice low-income building to be right next to you. But this is the fake news media, just like these two fakers that were up this weekend. I think they really hurt their career. I really believe that. I think they hurt. I hope they did. Not good. When I imitate Joe Biden not being able to find his way off the stage, which happens all the time. No, it happens all the time. I get decimated by the fake news media, and sometimes they say, look, he can't find his way off the stage either. You have these stages, they have like 4 or 5 stairs, usually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, is this a government-owned building? They have almost like nothing. Here are the other pillars of my plan to end this nightmare and help millions of Arizona families afford the house of your dreams. We will rapidly reduce inflation by slashing energy costs. Recording of 911 calls even show residents are reporting that the migrants are walking off with the town's geese. They take in the geese. You know where the geese are? In the park, in the lake. And even walking off with their pets. My dog's been taken. My dog's been stolen. This can only happen. When I return to the White House, we will require... No, she made it up. She's a liar. She doesn't work at McDonald's. She said she worked at McDonald's, right? Right? She worked at McDonald's and she was working so hard. There's only one problem. She didn't work at McDonald's. She's a liar. Liar. Border Carrie Lake. Thank you. Thank you, Border Carrie. I don't know. I'm giving her a tag. You know, when I give people tags, it stays. But that's a good one. She's going to be great. She'll be a great... The guy, because, you know, the athletes, they say, I left it on the field. I left it all on the field. Well, I did, because I did 7 major rallies for 2 days. 7 each. Who the hell can do that? People are saying nobody else could do it. You think Biden could do it? I don't think so. I don't think Biden would do 7. I don't know if he'd do 1. He has no idea what to do. He's a Democrat, so, you know. He has no idea what to do about it. He's devastated. He's afraid to do anything. But if you look, the Venezuelans have taken over. I mean, and they walk in with guns, the biggest guns that I've ever seen. They had guns that were Supreme. They call them Supreme guns, AK-47 Supreme. They have stuff. I don't know where the hell they get this stuff. They come in. They've taken over buildings. They're in the real estate business, let's put it that way. Never going to let that happen. We can't let that happen again. But when they had exit polls, 2016, and they said, oh, he's getting killed in the exit polls. And I remember NBC and that stupid ABC that did this horrible debate. Those two people should be fired as an anchor. A couple of more years, they'll be fired. And she was nasty. She looked at me with hatred in her eyes. And him, he's a nice guy. I mean, they were told to do it by George Slobodopoulos, who's in the group, right? Because, you know, the athletes, they say, I left it on the field. I left it all on the field. Well, I did, because I did 7 major rallies for 2 days. 7 each. Who the hell can do that? People are saying nobody else could do it. You think Biden could do it? I don't think so. I don't think Biden would do 7. I don't know if he'd do 1. And illegal Haitians, and he came in, illegal Haitian migrants, taking over a beautiful place. It was so beautiful. Springfield, Ohio. I was there. I campaigned there a while ago. Springfield, it was so beautiful. Now it's just, what a place. Can you imagine you have this small little community, all of a sudden you have 20,000 illegals in your community. Nobody knows where they come from. But I was very happy because I got the endorsement of the Vice President's family. And I got the endorsement of the Vice President's brother. And even sent me a contribution. And I was very happy because Barack Hussein Obama, his brother, as you know, endorsed me. So, no, his brother endorsed me. And I'm the one that says you can't build a low-income apartment house where people want to do harm when they move in, right next to your beautiful little house, right? I'm also announcing that as part of our additional tax cuts, we will end all taxes on overtime. You know what that means? Think of that. Think of that. Think of that. That gives people more of an incentive to work. It gives the companies it's a lot easier to get the people. And, you know, I went to some economists, great ones, and I said, what do you think? They said, it would be unbelievable. You'll get a whole new workforce by doing that. No taxes on overtime.
What are you seeing from Taylor Swift in her endorsement, especially in terms of driving civic participation?
Yeah, so I think this is a question a lot of us had after we saw the endorsement. I think a lot of people expected it was coming, but the question of how much of an impact will she have beyond just the excitement, you know, the likes on Instagram, will it translate into voter registration? So we can see some of the back-end data in terms of the data that is coming and hitting off the voter file that we build. And what we saw was this really massive increase. We're calling it the Swift effect now because it's really unlike anything I've seen. We're seeing a 400 or 500% increase in people coming and trying to register to vote immediately following the debate and in that period after Taylor Swift posted on Instagram. And what's really remarkable about that is usually you'll see these increases and they kind of fade away. In this case, we've seen it continue through the last 2 days into today.
How so?
Well, you know, I'm told, I have 2 teenage daughters, that she was on the Video Music Awards on MTV last night. Apparently, she put out another pitch for people to register to vote. And so we're seeing this continued spike of 4 or 5 times what you would regularly see. So we're talking about somewhere in the neighborhood of 9,000 to 10,000 people per hour just hitting our system. That's not indicative of everything, but it's a lot of it.
And what does this mean for the election?
Well, you know, a big part of this, the big question I think a lot of people ask is when you see new registrants, sure, they're registering to vote, will they vote? Well, we actually have statistics going back to 2020. We can see people who registered to vote this close to the election. Over 80% of those new registrants actually turned out in the election. So it's safe to say that not only are these voters who are registering are a big deal, but it's likely that they're going to come out on Election Day or before Election Day in the early voting.